Madam Minister of Health and Wellness, the Honorable Juliet Cuthbert-Flynn, Madam President of the Jamaican Red Cross, Ms. Alessandra Cho, Madam Director General, Ms. Evan Clark, Director General of the Jamaican Red Cross, Mrs. Cheryl Lewis, Program Manager, the Jamaica Country Cluster, Delegation Officer of the ICRC, International Committee for the Red Cross. Mr. Vice President, members of the executive of the Jamaica Red Cross, member of staff of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, members of the Central Committee of the Jamaica Red Cross, friends, staff, and all, welcome to this small but potent occasion. I'd like to say that the Ministry of Health and Wellness is the preeminent organization whose mandate is to ensure the provision of quality health services and to promote healthy lifestyles and environmental practices. Because the ministry envisions healthy people and healthy environment in our land. The ministry takes into account the needs of the most vulnerable among our people, and this is why it may be said without a doubt that the Ministry of Health and Wellness and the Jamaica Red Cross share the same DNA. Ladies and gentlemen, we are reminded that the Jamaica Red Cross is officially recognized by the government of Jamaica by an act of parliament. It has been recognized as a voluntary organization to offer relief in humanitarian action as auxiliary to the government, and it's said in the statutes specifically to the health care and promotion of military force. We may have to revisit that section of the statutes because civil society is indeed a force in itself, and the Jamaica Red Cross supports and does all the humanitarian action that it can on behalf of this force that is known as civilian society. So Mrs. Lewis, note that we are bringing that up for notice. So when we look at what we are about as Red Cross, and we consider the ministry's mandate and the ministry's actions, it is good for us to be here. At this table, we are sharing. We are sharing on behalf of the most vulnerable in the Jamaican society. And if any other society wants to come by, we'll work on their behalf as well. Because we have been. We have been examples in the region as a national society. And we have shared our services, we have shared our expertise, and so we'll continue to share. We have shared goods and services. Today we are looking to share to the Ministry of Health, our DNA partner. And so it's wonderful for us to be here. time, we still know that vulnerability is something that will attack any one of us at any particular point in time. I remember the international president of the Federation, Astrid. Astrid said she was the president of the International Federation when she spoke with us at the board, the governing board in Geneva. And she said, look, there was a night when I came out of my car in the garage, and you know those European places have these lonesome garages, but she had to park there. And somehow when she walked out, she saw someone looking like an oboe, for example, in a corner, but she didn't pay the oboe any mind. She just went her way. And I think she held her head so high that she didn't note that there was a stumbling block, and she fell. She fell, and she said for a minute, she don't know if it was a minute or a second or what, but she knows she was completely out of it. When she woke up and opened her eyes, she saw the oboe standing over her and said, "Can I help?" That is a remarkable story coming from that level. And I say that vulnerability does not really decide that I am going to attack you or it's going. And so when we are in this thing together, it's a wonderful experience, and it's wonderful that we have to consult with our ministry because we have that affinity and we have that sameness of purpose. And so without going any further, I would like to ask our pastor to do the invocation. Is Mr. Michael Sutherland here? Thank you, Mr. Sutherland. Oh, this is not Mr. Sutherland, this is Mr. Scott. I'm sorry.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Before I proceed, I want to say Happy International Women's Day to all the ladies here. And it's something remarkable about our Jamaican women. I remember at the senior citizen meeting on Sunday in my community, I was the only male in the meeting. Somebody look around and say, "Where are the men?" So ladies, without the ladies, I don't know what it would manage. Kudos to the ladies. Alright, my duty is to invoke the presence of the Lord in our midst. Whatever we're doing, we can't leave out God. He's the creator. And so, I just want to share a word from the book of, from the Holy Word, 3 John 1, as we are focusing on health. It said, verse 2, 3 John 1, "Beloved, I wish above all that you may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospereth." So it's very clear that God is concerned about our well-being, our health. He said, "He wish above all that we prosper and be in good health as our soul prospereth." So there got to be a balance between our soul and our health. And so I'm very proud to be a part of this movement that address the humanitarian of mankind, especially the health. Because we see what is happening in our world today. There are so many challenges. Non-communicable diseases is rampant. Mental things are of concern. And so, improper diet, lack of rest, exercise, and it goes on, and the list goes on. So today God is saying to us, "You wish above all that we prosper and be in good health." Let us pray for those who are not in objection to prayer, we're going to pray and ask God blessing on this function. Father, this is the day that you have made. Truly we want to rejoice and be glad in it. Father, we thank you for this occasion where the Jamaica Red Cross, who is now about to embark on 75 years of existence in this island, Jamaica. And Father, the Red Cross has been doing a tremendous work, touching the life of thousands of persons, both in relief and in health. So Lord, here we are this morning as we gathered as members of this noble movement to ask God blessing on this ceremony. We thank you for our guest minister Cuthbert, who's here with us. And we thank you, God, for the leadership of this noble movement. We thank you for all the volunteers throughout the island who have volunteered their time and effort in humanitarian cause. So Father, we ask your blessing now on this ceremony in Jesus' name.
Thank you very much, Pastor Scott. You have covered us and you have covered our principles that will follow. Because whatever principles man will make, the principles must be covered by God, our Master, Savior, King, and friend. And so I ask everyone to turn to the back of your card, program card, and you will note that there are 7 principles that Adrian is about to help emphasize as he puts it on screen. Are we ready?
One moment, please.
Okay. Humanity, impartiality, neutrality, independence, voluntary service, unity, and universality.
Apologies for that, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to start over. Sorry about that. All right, so one moment, please.
Children will be disappointed because they have done everything with all their hearts. We rely on our children a lot, Madam Minister. We have several branches throughout the island. We have 14, but we do have hundreds of links in school links. And the children are always with us. Whatever we do, they are willing to work with us and be with us. They are at school at this time, so we ask them to do a recording. Somehow the technology is getting a little walked.
Whenever you're ready, we can start.
We are.
Okay.
International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement, born of a desire to bring assistance without discrimination to the wounded on the battlefield. Endeavors in its international and national capacity to prevent and alleviate human suffering wherever it may go. Its purpose is to protect the life and health and to ensure respect for the human being. It promotes mutual understanding, friendship, cooperation, and lasting peace amongst all. Universality. The International Red Cross and Red Crescent movement, in which all societies have equal status and share equal responsibilities in helping each other, is worldwide.
Thank you very much, Juliet. And thanks, Adrian, for almost translating flawlessly on screen. And I apologize to children and I need them. There's one here. Hi. We apologize on behalf of the flawed technology. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, those are our principles, and we reiterate them every time we get together. Every time we get together, we reiterate our principles so that they will carry us through. Now, we have with us Mrs. Sharon Lewis. She's the program manager, Jamaica Country Cluster Delegation Office, and she is representing the International Federation of the Red Cross. So we ask Mrs. Lewis, so you are right. Everybody will have to come and get a whole so stand out at the step ladder. Stand by.
Honorable Minister of State, Minister of Health and Wellness, Juliet Cuthbert-Flynn, the President of the Jamaica Red Cross, Ms. Alessandra Chung, and of course my dear Director General, Ms. Yvonne Clark. I wish to really thank the Jamaica Red Cross for inviting me to this auspicious occasion, this handover ceremony. And I'm honored to be part of this handover activity. As we all know, a little over 3 years ago, the world experienced a health crisis that was unprecedented, with some of the after effects of which we're still recovering. And I want to mention the organization that I represent, the International Federation of the Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, as you know, is the world's largest humanitarian organization with over 192 Red Cross societies throughout the world. And as part of our overall mission to help alleviate the suffering as a result of this crisis, an emergency appeal was launched on the 31st of January 2020. And via this appeal, the Red Cross, the International Federation of the Red Cross, reached out to a number of its donors and supporters, requesting funding in the region of, I think, 670 million Swiss francs, of which we were able to receive in the region of 393 million Swiss francs in order to carry out all the work throughout our 192 Red Cross societies. Of course, the generous support of our donors and partners of the IFRC enabled us to meet here to celebrate some of the activities that were accomplished. The IFRC's activities have been centered around 3 main priorities, and these priorities form the international operational response framework for the COVID-19 pandemic. And the 3 priorities were strengthening health and water and sanitation, addressing the socioeconomic impact, and of course, national society strengthening. Of course, we could not carry out any of our activities without strengthening our national societies, most of which were under lockdown status and could not carry out the activities, but through the support of the funding, our national societies were able to continue to work throughout the pandemic. So since the start of the pandemic, the Jamaican Red Cross has fortified its role as an auxiliary to the state, and it aligned its response, of course, to the 3 priorities that were early identified. The National Society was able to support the work of the Ministry of Health and Wellness as one of its key partners, and this was done through donations of personal protective equipment, some automatic hand sanitizing equipment, and other forms of services. Of course, we see that we have here on display some of the equipment that we are going to be donating to the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Jamaican Red Cross implemented a number of infection prevention and control activities by distributing hygiene and care kits to persons in need, persons in affected communities, and we also conducted a number of hygiene promotion activities in specific target communities. Psychosocial support was also offered, as many persons, as you know, were going through disastrous effects, mental health effects as a result of the pandemic. And of course, through the partnership with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, we were able to accomplish these activities. So the IFRC donations also enabled the Jamaica Red Cross to procure 5 vehicles, which enabled it to augment its reach and expand its reach in the various target communities. The pandemic's collateral socioeconomic effects were not at all ignored by the Jamaica Red Cross, and the National Society was able to distribute food hampers, care packages to persons again in all those affected communities, and we were also able to complete a cash and voucher program, CBA as we call them, a cash and voucher program, which assisted I think approximately 904 families throughout the island. These efforts, as we know, were not possible without the untiring work and the commitment of the staff and volunteers of the National Society. And they continue to help to sensitize the population about the COVID-19 pandemic and the various preventive measures that should be put in place as a result of this pandemic, and the importance of vaccination as a method of alleviating it. These activities and initiatives have gone a far way in helping not just the Jamaica Red Cross, but also the local health authority as it works to reduce the impact of the pandemic. The IFRC wishes to applaud the Jamaica Red Cross and the Ministry of Health and Wellness for the work that they have done and continue to do as we keep the number of COVID cases, active COVID cases, at a minimum in Jamaica. I would wish to use this opportunity as well to reiterate the IFRC's commitment to making sure that the most vulnerable and the most isolated in our far-reaching, very remote communities are reached via our national societies, and that we continue to work to contain the pandemic and any other health emergencies that may arise. And we call on others to join us in our efforts. So to all our partners, donors, volunteers, the IFRC is grateful for your continued support and the dedication, and to let us continue to remember that we are not safe until all of us are safe. So I wish to thank everyone for your presence here, and thank you again on behalf of the IFRC.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Lewis. You have represented our umbrella well. There are 190 other of us that commemorate and gather under the International Federation's cloak. And we are happy to have you here. We feel honored because not all countries have a representative that can come to their function, you know. So we are very happy. We are special, says the Director General. Thank you very, very much for, and of course, for reminding us of what we do, what we ought to do, and for thanking us as volunteers and staff. Because we know that, yes, they are the goods, but the services are precious. And the services are rendered by staff and volunteers. So thanks again, Mrs. Lewis. This one really deserves some nice backup music. It's just that we're not sure which music we're going to get, because Mr. Michael Sutherland, the member who is a member of Red Cross, long-standing, but at the same time, he works in another voluntary organization, teaching. He is the, minister, I beg your pardon. I'm coming from that church, teacher chair. However, you know, he's having problems, not with the school as such, but the vicinity in which the school exists. They are having some unrest. And while he can send the staff home and they can drive home, but he has to be the last one on shift. And so he has to remain there because there are some children who are still awaiting parents. He can't leave. So we understand why Mr. Sutherland can't be with us, and we miss him a lot. What do you have to offer? Right there? Technology? Well, we still have performance coming. Amoy? We have a wonderful together. Amoy here with us, Miss Amoy Smith of Ascot High School. And she's in her uniform. She's all decked out. So the minister can see that when we speak, we are speaking the truth. You see one of our children, and she's going to perform for us.
Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, everybody. I am Amoy Smith of Ascot High School, where I currently serve in the capacity of head girl. I also serve in the capacity of youth mayor, where I work under the mentorship of His Worship the Mayor Leon Thomas. I was told to come here and give you guys an item. Right. It's a skit, it's a short skit, it's a monologue, a one-man show. In this case, a one-woman show.
Need a mic?
No, I don't need
Okay, no problem.
Mincy is my one little daughter. We carry her 9 months, like the poor carry both. I tell her, go on to school, take in your education, get your subject, get your degree, so you don't have to come back home out of our life. I send her to every class, only to get a call. Good morning, Miss Fancy. What do you mean by me send me to go to every class? What it? It's okay, I will talk to her. Go call Mincy. Mincy! Time to go to class. Mommy, I don't feel. Mincy, come go to class. She don't feel well. Okay, come go to the doctor. Mommy, I have class. Mincy, come and carry you to the doctor. You haven't been looking well. Well, go call out in a doctor's office. Congratulations are in order. She's 2 months pregnant. 2 months pregnant? But when I listen to her story, I really feel myself as a mother. My mother did tell me, say, poverty are really crying. When she tell me she meet a man downtown, say never like how she look. Offer a check $100,000, thinking that she could have used it help mommy. I was so upset. Me too, what you talking about? See them now? Check bounce and your left with belly. But then we really think, I feel myself as a mother. Me promise myself, say, in everything I go put God first. So, me I go continue to try and make things better for me, for Pitney, and my granddaughter.
Truly telling story. Truly telling. This has happened on a daily basis, not only in Jamaica, please. It happens. And that she could come to share the vision with us and remind us, Mr. Vice President, Mr. Norman Harrison, you have the children at heart. Not only your own, but you have those at West. And so you have always been supporting whatever the youth leagues are doing. And see, this head girl, from when were you a member of the youth league, my dear? Second form. And that has propelled her. Her relationship with the Red Cross and Red Cross activities. It has propelled her to head girl. We are proud of you, and we are pleased that you could come and share with us this hour. Just to remind many of us that our dear Director General, who will speak next, was the first Youth Link member from Jamaica to be sent to Canada. Is it? She will correct me if the country is incorrect. But to be sent as an emissary. She was sent on mission as a youth. And see her here today? She is the head of Jamaica Red Cross and has been for many years. And so we ask you, Madam Yvonne Clark, OD, Director General of Jamaica Red Cross, to give us a few remarks at this time. Thank you.
Madam Carol, past president of the Red Cross, Honorable Juliet, Cuthbert-Flynn, Minister of State in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, And I'm just tempted a little bit to ask her if she wasn't a Red Cross youth. Because so many of our persons who are well placed now were once Red Cross youth members.
Oh, can we ask her?
Mrs. Cheryl Lewis, representative of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Society. Ms. Alessandra Chow, who was also a youth member, and from whom, and somebody I've known from those days, when she was a poor nurse. It will say that she has risen from the youth member to president. So you understand, when we inject people with the Red Cross virus, I'm very sorry, they can't get rid of it. Mr. Norman Harrison, Vice President, representatives from the Ministry of Health and Wellness, members of the media, although I'm not identifying any of them yet, staff and volunteers of the Jamaica Red Cross, friends. Good afternoon. It is indeed a good day. We are gathered to celebrate another installment on a long-standing partnership that truly enhances lives. It is one of the good things happening in our beloved country on this special day. But before I proceed, it is my delight to acknowledge all the women today and to wish each of us, happy International Women's Day. International Women's Day is being observed under the theme, Embrace Equality. And of course, for us in the Jamaica Red Cross, this bears a special significance, as the Red Cross is a constant advocate for equality. Ladies and gentlemen, the Jamaica Red Cross as auxiliary to the government of Jamaica assists in all areas of relevant service, contributing both in service and in kind. Today, we're undertaking part of an ongoing initiative to promote good health, and through which we will be presenting an in-kind donation directly to the Ministry of Health and Wellness. We are pleased to be gifting the Ministry of Health and Wellness 16 LCD automatic hand sanitizer dispensers, and there's one displayed there in the back, which you can see. 16 of those for distribution to medical facilities across the island. And we hope that these will go to some of the very rural areas or places where they do not have any kind of facility that would allow us to continue the practice of hand washing. These units were procured under Coca-Cola Foundation's Stop the Spread project and is valued at $1.12 million. So I know most people will think when they see the Red Cross, they're coming to live. But there are times when they're able to live. And this is one of those such occasions. In addition to this, we are giving to the ministry a large volume of personal protective equipment. These include disposable surgical gowns and plastic face shields. Again, these were obtained under the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent's response grant. And it represents $48,500 US dollars, which roughly amounts to 8.6 million Jamaican dollars. It is our belief that these items will go a long way in helping to maintain some of the good habits, such as hand washing and sanitation, which we practiced during the throes of the COVID-19 pandemic. Actions which then and will continue to minimize the transmission of communicable diseases, whether it be the lingering coronavirus itself or any other similar malady emerge. On this occasion, we cannot help but reflect on the valiant fight we mounted as a nation to ward off the worst impacts of the virus. The Jamaica Red Cross wishes to thank the Ministry of Health and Wellness for leading Jamaica during this difficult period. We also wish to acknowledge the contribution of our many volunteers and staff during this period. We want to note, for those who persons who may not have been aware, that Jamaica Red Cross was one of the agencies which was able to move when everybody else was locked down. When you have to stay at home, the Jamaica Red Cross had to contribute to the work of containing the virus and reducing and eradicating the virus from our shores. For our part, fruitful local and international partnerships were forged. And I often say that for us, that was one of the best things that came out of COVID-19. Strong partnerships evolved, were developed, and we are sure will be carried forward. We re-energized our partnership at that time with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, as well as with multiple corporate entities, such as Nestle, Coca-Cola, and many other private sector entities. Together with the sustained backing of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent. And I am here to say that not even a quarter of what we were able to do would have been accomplished without the support of our federation. We are proud to be part of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Society, because it is like a family. Whenever anything happens to, the least of us, the family gets around, locks together, and tries to help out in that situation. On this occasion, it wasn't one of the usual disasters like hurricanes, from which we get enormous support every time something like that happens. And incidentally, we are shifting a lot of our work to the building of resilience side of things throughout the world, so that you will have less response at that end when persons are better prepared to treat with the situations which affect them. We, under this, with the support of the IFRC, we're able to actuate a multi-pronged response to COVID-19. A total of over 350 communities across the island were reached, with 18,000 families receiving food and sanitation items. 805 families supported with cash grants from the Jamaica Red Cross, valued at $13.6 million. Over 500 individuals received psychosocial support. 1,767 persons were vaccinated through direct support from the Jamaica Red Cross. And this support included going into some of the very difficult rural areas, bringing out people, taking them to centers where they could be vaccinated, giving them a little snack during the time while they were out there. So, it was, maybe to some persons, not very much, but it was important enough to get those persons out, to get them vaccinated, and we played our role there. In addition, over 1.1 million persons have been impacted by our communication social campaign delivered by billboards, social media, radio, print, and collateral materials. In addition, we had a valuable partnership with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, which saw over 100 volunteers being trained in psychosocial first aid and deployed to local communities. While this marks the culmination of that response strategy, it also signifies in an official way our transition towards addressing the economic devastation which would have affected some of the most vulnerable members of our society. Ladies and gentlemen, we are pleased to inform you that we have expanded the implementation of the COVID-19 Livelihood Restoration Project, which is focused on climate-smart livelihood restoration. Our first partner in this initiative is the Caribbean Christian Institute Center for the Deaf. That's in Manchester. Through collaboration with the Rural Agricultural Development Authority and other agencies, we selected the CCD and are helping that institution to recover from the impacts of COVID-19 by strengthening their climate-smart agricultural activities. Specifically, we have been able to provide them with a solar water pump and additional water catchment and storage capacity. We're looking to deepen this partnership to further strengthen that community to deal with the impacts of both climate change and COVID-19. It is in this the 75th year of the existence of the Red Cross in Jamaica. 75th year of the Red Cross in Jamaica. We started as a branch of the British Red Cross when we were under the rule of the British. And then when we became independent, we had to, or centered the action of being a national society. And so we are among the 192 countries of the world where there is a national society. But the Red Cross exists in more than 192 countries of the world because the countries which are dependent, continue to be dependent on their some of the member states, they also have branches of the Red Cross. So you see, we're large and we're strong as a family. We continue to be involved in community-based disaster risk reduction initiatives with increased focus on nature-based solutions and the value of ecosystems and healthy physical environment in reducing risks. So while we are looking after the body and making sure that the body is there, we are also working on the environment to make sure that we make the best use of that, the paradise that we have been given to live in. The value of nature-based solutions and the value of ecosystems and a healthy physical. With support from the USA Bureau for Humanitarian Assistance and the IFRC, we are currently undertaking 2 projects. The Capacity Building Initiative, that is CDI4. That project is working in the communities of Portland Cottage in Clarendon, Wheeler Field in St. Thomas, and Atlantic Bay in St. Mary. And the Greening Red Cross and Red Crescent Risk Reduction Project, which is working in Old Harbor Bay in St. Catherine, Rock River in Clarendon, and Woodford in St. Anne. Again, trying to reach the very vulnerable or most vulnerable communities, helping to prevent land slippage, to renew mangroves and those kind of things. And I say this because most times people think of the Red Cross, they think of just disasters, or they think of food or meals or so which we handle. But we are more than that. We are looking at sustainability. We are looking at resilience and all areas which affect human life. In these communities, we're working in resilience to disasters and climate change, with training and equipping local community members to be their own first line of response, as well as working to support sustainable management, conservation, and restoration of the natural ecosystem to support risk reduction. We want to thank the government of Jamaica for the partnership and support and the many initiatives to serve the vulnerable over the years. We work very closely with MLSS. We work closely with agriculture. You know, they have a little thing to say, dog, I have too much owner sleeping or something. But unfortunately, But fortunately, we don't sleep without someone. We work very closely with everybody, and our international federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent societies, as well as many corporate entities, provide us with the backup and the support, so we don't have to do without support. We want to, as I said before, thank you all for your partnership and support. And on this occasion, we want to big up the Ministry of Health and Wellness for your support over the years as we work together to better protect and preserve the physical and mental health of our nation.
Thank you very much, Madam Director General. And as you spoke about relationship with the various ministries, yes, we want to, as a national society, say to the government of Kenya how we appreciate the way they treat us with non-interference. Not once have they ever said, Jamaica Red Cross, you can't do this. We have always been accommodating and accommodated by whatever we have to give and to offer. The government is always with us. And some national societies envy us for that. I remember there was a national society that I was close to, and the president said, I was sent by the government to be president of that Red Cross society. It was the government that sent me to be president. And I said, not so in our country. They allow us to select our president because we know who is right and who is good for the position, and the government really recognizes that. And we want to say kudos to our government. Through this bill, we have a minister here and talk about representing country as youth member, because we did say that about Chris Clark, and we said that about our little young lady there, and we said how our Vice President Norma Harrison supports the youth, and all of that. But do we need to introduce this lady minister we have with us? Do we need to? We all know, but I'm going to say a few things nevertheless. Because the Honorable Juliet Cuthbert-Flynn is a committed and passionate leader who has been serving her country with distinction since she was 16. How many persons remember that? Remember her going across, it was the hurdle? No. What? 200. We saw her coming around it, and we said, what a little girl can take the curve. And then the men would say, and she curved it too. Yes, our minister, she's a 5-time Olympian, a multiple track and field medalist. Yes, and she started from an early age. So you see, these early age people, they have come right up to take charge of their country. And our minister wants to congratulate. Congratulate. I told some people that I was going to chair a session with the minister, Juliet Cuthbert-Flynn, and one lady said, "But that's my favorite girl." I said, "Is your favorite?" She said, "Tell her that for me when you get there." You are her favorite. She loved, and she spoke about the way she loved how this young lady presented herself. It is from those days we began to say to the young athletes, look, fix yourself and how you present yourself and how you speak, because the media is going to want to speak with you. This minister showed from childhood days that she could represent us not only on the track, but in the boardroom. She could speak, she could deliver, and she is still delivering. Wonderful. We are pleased of you, Madam Minister. A businesswoman and a member of Parliament for West Rural Senator since 2016. Madam Minister was also conferred with the Order of Distinction for her contribution to sport in 1962. As Minister of State in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Mr. Cuthbert-Flynn, is primarily responsible for maternal health, HIV prevention, blood transfusion services, and the reduction of substance use. We have with us no better person to receive whatever Red Cross has to offer, to be with us and to instruct us a bit. No better person than Madam Minister Juliet Cuthbert-Flynn, Honorable.
Thank you so much, Madam Chair, for that lovely introduction. Good afternoon, everyone. And it is really a pleasure to be here because it's International Women's Day, and so to all the lovely ladies in presence today, I want to say Happy International Women's Day. We deserve it. And let me say, service is really something, because no, I was not a member of the Red Cross, but I was a brownie. And so I think Service Club is so important in teaching you so many things, because I can say that being a brownie, actually about team effort, just like in track and field, that helped me with being a team person. I think the Service Club really helped these youngsters, and so I commend the Red Cross. I wasn't aware that they had youth in the Service Club as far as the Red Cross is concerned, so I want to commend you for the work that you've been doing, and also for the human service that you've been providing to humanity for a number of years, so congratulations to you. President of the Jamaica Red Cross, Ms. Alexandra Chung, OD, Chairperson Dr. Carol Powell, past President of Jamaica Red Cross, Ms. Yvonne Clark, OD, Director General of Jamaica Red Cross, Mr. Dorman Harris, Vice President of the Jamaica Red Cross, Ms. Cheryl Lewis, Program Manager, Jamaica Country Cluster, International Federation of Red Cross, all the members of the Red Cross, and also the Youth Link, specially invited guests, members of the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and the media. A pleasant afternoon, as I said. And as I said, it's really an honor to come here and share with you in this handover this afternoon. And indeed, it's really a culture of care is alive. We can see that well through the work of the Jamaica Red Cross, who's continued to providing relief, especially in the wake of emergencies, remain a distinct part of your legacy. This distinguished organization has demonstrated tremendous humanitarian support with the donation of relief supplies, grants, assistance, psychosocial, I didn't even know that, psychosocial support to help individuals, families, schools, and also for the various communities right across Jamaica to recover in the midst of crisis. These are other forms of support. It makes it very clear that varying areas of need have been met through outstanding public-private partnership. And we saw that throughout the entire pandemic, how persons came together. You saw the partnership with persons partnering with the Ministry of Health and Wellness, and not just that, in communities, helping one another. And so the COVID-19 pandemic really brought us together and helped us through. And that's why I think we're still standing here today. And so as the Jamaica Red Cross continues to make a positive impact of significance too, is a work by the Jamaica Red Cross in enhancing the public health systems, emergency response, psychosocial care, and disaster awareness training. So we are keen to note the robust support shown towards the national COVID-19 response through upward of 117 million Jamaican dollars in the humanitarian response, especially under the pillar of sustaining health. I therefore express deep appreciation on behalf of the government of Jamaica to the local international donor partners, especially the International Federation of the Red Cross, Crescent Societies. Today, I'm pleased to be a part of this donation of more than 8.6 million Jamaican dollars in sanitization and personal protective equipment to aid in the fight against not just COVID-19, but other viral bacterial infections, and so that we can continue to practice in healthcare settings right across the island. The items, as was mentioned before, include 16 LDC sanitizer stations. I have to say I really like those. I really like those. I haven't seen any like that across the island. So these LCD sanitizer stations for distribution across the 4 regional health authorities. Additionally, more than 13,000 surgical gowns and over 6,000 face shields along with facial masks are being provided through the International Federation of the Red Cross COVID-19 response grant. Especially these provisions will support the availability of hygiene supplies at the point of care. And I have to tell you, my 6-year-old, if COVID-19 didn't teach us anything, the little ones can teach us a lot, because now when I come through the door, she said, "Mommy, go wash your hands." She's even telling me how I must, you can't just sneeze like this, you have to do this. So the COVID-19 has really taught us quite a bit, and the little ones, to keep us in check. And so this donation carries with a timely reminder about preventative measures. And I said, the little ones, they learn, and into adulthood, they will remember these things, right? Hand hygiene and overall cleanliness are non-negotiable, especially with my 6-year-old, in any healthcare setting. And these supplies, we know, will go a far way in reducing the spread of germs, viruses, and various bacteria that surround. Of great importance is the practice of hand hygiene, as I said, to be effective and to prevent transmission of infectious microorganisms during healthcare delivery. Hand hygiene should be performed when needed in most effective way, and that is by using the right technique, and we all know what the right technique is by now, right? We should. And so, additionally, wearing your mask, face mask, remains an important part still, because COVID is still a key. We see the numbers at about 120 something, we see the numbers that the ministry is still putting out there, so we still have to be careful and make sure that the control measures that have been effective in the COVID-19 responses is still in check. I pause here to note that our surveillance system continues to monitor the COVID-19 and Health and Wellness website to see what those numbers are. It is needful to point out that COVID-19 remains a public health emergency of international concern. Globally, the continuing risk posed by COVID-19 results is still high, and we are still experiencing in Jamaica a number of deaths. We're seeing that. While we have improved, however, on our efforts in managing the COVID-19 impact, the threat, as I said, is severe disease and death remains. Over the 3-year period of the pandemic, Jamaica, we recorded 154,416 infections with over 3,500 deaths of our Jamaican people. And that was confirmed as of March the 3rd of this year. The 7-day February 28 to March 3rd, 2023 positivity rate stood at 14.9%. We therefore continue to urge Jamaicans to practice the infection prevention control measures to safeguard against these illnesses. So these hand sanitizer machines will still remain important to our daily routine. And so, in closing, I want to say kudos to the Red Cross. Thank you so much for the Red Cross and its network of over 350 volunteers, the members, the staff, island-wide, for your unwavering support towards public health and overall the nation's humanitarian response. We remain very grateful for your support and what you did throughout the pandemic, and of course through any disaster that we may have in Jamaica. And we'll continue to collaborate with you in an effort, of course, to safeguard our Jamaican citizens. So thank you once again for this donation.
Thank you, Madam Minister. I wish I could get one of the 16 to a certain 6-year-old, because she is a sanitizer and she sees that her mommy is doing the right thing. Congratulations, you must have done something to allow that young lady to be so responsible. Thank you very much, Madam Minister, and you will certainly be thanked at the correct time by our Vice President. At this time, we ask,
I would ask respectfully that we get a chance to move these back
Doing so now.
there, because actually
the presentation.
yes.
Okay.
Can we,
On it.
you would be something by
Sure.
yes, please.
Oh, I thought Sally was going to speak. Oh, you just we should give our president a cheer, because we haven't seen her in this company here for a good while. Madam President Sandra Chung, I keep saying just Sandy, but I'm supposed to pronounce her name properly. Miss Alessandra Chung is a fairly new president of the Jamaica Red Cross. She's the third female president, and we want to commend her. This
What we do is just ask one of those here. The machine is at the moment. Oh, I see. Pretend that you're showing me. I'm good at this now. Like, I'll even direct you and tell you what to do. So I guess we just taking a look at this. Look. I'm doing it. Look.
Yes, that's really good. That's really good. Yes.
The four of them were
Yes, it's great.
opening their hands.
This is great. Yes, I like this.
Put it in the tongue. Put it in the tongue. Right.
You put it here. I prefer this than this other solution.
Yes, and then you are able to program your messages and you have messages.
Oh, wow, that is nice.
In your one
make
was
sure
just
that you put that
programmed.
there and
No,
then
no, no, this one was just programmed for.
But you have the different, I guess, logos here. So we can, somebody can show me this now. Right, mental Jason side.
Yes.
And hand over to me. Pick up, it's behind you. Well, we'll just hold it and take a picture. Sure. Okay. What else?
And this is a song as well.
Song, what do you mean by song? So you can play, so you can play.
Video or something. Yes.
And not just the sanitizers,
No.
more than the sanitizers.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What is over there? What is this? Oh, you want to come over here? Oh, these are the face shields.
Come this way, yes. You start putting the face shield over it. Over it up. No, yes, good.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yes. Madam President, for having executed the job. We are happy that we were able to have this time. We ask our Vice President, Mr. Dorman Harrison, to come forward and give those facts.
Madam Chairperson, Honorable Council, Madam President, Program Manager, EG, and the rest of you who have been invited to be here. As VP, and I almost said, and a maid. I'll take that back. I think it is fitting on behalf of the men who are here for me to, in a very manly way, say Happy Women's Day to all the women who are here. And then I look around, men, and I see how many few of us are actually inside here. I went to a function a few Sundays ago, and when I got back, the first question was asked of me, Mr. Harrison, how many men were at the function? I said, not many. That was the bishop, my national bishop.
He said, that name does not say much to me, Doma. I need to know. So I said, there were about 150 persons there, sir. Doesn't say anything. What are you trying to hide from us, Doma? And I said, look, maybe because there were 6 men. You know, and among the men were 3 youngsters who were less than 15 years old. But so it is. We ask ourselves as men, where would the world be? Where would voluntary organizations be without the women? And so let me get to what I've been asked to do. I wish for us to put our hands together for our chairperson. She has martial dysfunction. She has done stroke. Thank you, Madam Chair. Our pastor has left, but his absence. I wish to thank you for having invoked God's presence. And I would say that the way it has progressed, I think is quite as romantic. For the youngsters in their absence, who did the fundamental principles, I ask that you convey to them our appreciation. Madam Program Manager, thank you for being here to share the day with us. We note your recognition of the work of the Red Cross. Jamaica Red Cross wish to thank the IFRC for the support you continue to give to us. Clearly, without that support, the work that you have recognized we have done might not have been possible. And so we thank you. Please give. Madam DG, you spoke to us and you reminded us, in particular, the long-standing relationship between the Ministry of Health and Jamaica Red Cross. It's a partnership that I'm sure will continue, and the fact that we are doing this today is evidence of that mention, that DNA that exists between the two organizations, and we look forward to that continued relationship. The young lady who did the, what did you call it again? A monologue skit? Yeah. You know, it might come across as being something that allows us to smile, but when we think about it, we need to take it on maybe as an official humanitarian challenge. It's a great concern. And I work with a lot of youngsters, and somehow within those groupings, the majority of those youngsters are female. And maybe because they hold the beard, they think that they can confine it. Things they tell you that is happening to them. But unfortunately, sometimes they don't feel comfortable enough to discuss these things even with their parents. And so we wonder if the parents themselves are not aware of the challenges that these youngsters are facing, it becomes a real challenge. Because they're the ones who are with them. Luckily, you know, in our organization like ours, that our youngsters are attached to. and that they are individuals with whom they feel comfortable to talk to, and hopefully we can offer some support. Madam Keynote Speaker, I think many of us have followed your career, your dual career, that is, as an athlete, then as a politician. Many of us are not necessarily familiar with your business side, but for sure, we know how you represented us as a country well on the tracks. And so, our chair spoke of the able way in which you took those curves and I would say, at the risk of being out of place, I'm going to say that when she took those curves, you also saw those curves. Thank you for being here today. From what you said, though, Madam Minister, this has been for you a learning experience as well. And we're glad that you are more enlightened with the work that the Red Cross does. Not only what we see normally, but in particular what we do with the youth. And we know that in that area, based on how you talk, we will continue to get the support. I think it is fitting also for us to, while you offer your commendation, I think it is fitting for the Red Cross and Jamaica in particular to say how grateful we are as a country for how the ministry managed and continue to manage the challenge that was posed by COVID. It has not gone away, as you have reminded us, so we will continue to play our part to ensure that whatever support we can give in collaboration with you, we will continue to do that. Our President, thank you for marshalling the Handover. And I look forward to seeing those photographs. Last but by no means least, for all those individuals, I'm not quite sure if I should say in the background or the back office, but you see, those persons who normally are not part of the function, but they're the ones who really make the function happen. And so we want to thank those staff members and volunteers who took the time to put this together, that we could be here just to sit and talk. Thank you very much.
And we want to thank VP Dorma Harrison for thanking us. We are and we want to thank the Heavenly Father for having brought us here and taking us through. Despite technology and glitches, we are safe. And we thank God. We remember ourselves from St. Thomas, and the first time the pandemic hit St. Thomas, and we were there. So from St. Thomas to St. James to Handover, and we have been there, and God has been good to us. We have not heard about any of our volunteers really falling down on the job, and God has been good. And so these gifts that we were enabled by the IFRC to transfer to our DME partner, the Ministry of Health and Wellness. God will continue to cover us all as we go in Jesus' name. Amen. At this point, we ask the Director General to escort the Minister through to her chambers. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Pleasure is all ours. Thank you. Oh, you do? Yes. Oh, thank you.
This is the right part.
This is the right cross wellness and refreshment. Ladies and gentlemen, lead us to refresh us on the lead. The Director General, Minister, and somebody will